नमस्कार, आप सभी का स्वागत है आज की क्लास में। आज कुछ चीज़ें देखेंगे सिंक्रोफेजर टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में। और जैसा कि आप सभी जानते हैं सिंक्रोफेजर का यूज़ क्या है, मैंने लास्ट क्लास में ही आपको बताया था। और आज जो है हम थोड़ा बहुत एल्गोरिदम और सिग्नल्स को लेकर के थोड़ा कुछ डिस्कस करेंगे। लास्ट क्लास में हमने जो है मैटलैब के बारे में पढ़ा था कि मैटलैब में सिग्नल मॉडल कैसे बनाते हैं। हमने बस एक ही मॉडल के बारे में देखा था जो था प्योर साइनसॉइडल वेव। अब मान लीजिए कि आपके पावर सिस्टम में कोई फॉल्ट आता है, तो वो जो फॉल्ट है वो तो प्योर फॉर्म में नहीं रहेगा। प्योर साइन के वेव आपका जो सिग्नल है, जो मेन सिग्नल, जो फंडामेंटल सिग्नल जो है, मीन्स योर करंट और वोल्टेज दैट इज फ्लोइंग इन योर ट्रांसमिशन लाइन दैट इज गोइंग थ्रू योर पावर सिस्टम, सब स्टेशन एंड पावर ग्रिड ऑल्सो। So what is happening in normal cases, we consider that signal as a pure sinusoidal wave, but in normal case we are not consider that as a pure sine wave. Am I right or not? So IEEE has modeled, not IEEE modeled, any researcher, I think A.G. Fadke, he was A.G. Fadke, an Indian origin scientist or researcher, modeled some signals. He modeled some signals. He modeled some abnormal signals, means some disturbances for PMU. A.G. Fadke modeled some disturbances for PMU, and according to the nature of the signal, according to the nature of disturbance, he named various disturbances, and after that IEEE has verified that thing, means IEEE has granted approval, so you can proceed with that signal. See what happens. So that IEEE standard, IEEE has set standard, IEEE has some standard for those disturbance signals, for those disturbances, and that IEEE standard of syncrophasor measurement, that IEEE standard is called as IEEE standard of syncrophasor measurement. IEEE standard of syncrophasor measurement. See what happens in PMU. If your PMU is able to detect the pure sine wave, it should also detect other disturbances also. Means whenever fault occurs, we don't know what signal we are going to get at our PMU side. So your PMU algorithm must be capable of knowing, of detecting each and every parameter, whatever signal may be. So PMU should be capable of that. So we have now different signals. We have modeled different signals. We will go for that. A perfect PMU algorithm must be able to detect, sense each and every noise, each and every disturbance. So according to IEEE, we have some model signals. If you look at some recent papers, you will find that some researchers have gone for model based signals, means they have just one common signal and they have estimated phasor from that. But that is just theoretical case, that is not practical case. Every time you will not get every time you will not get same type of signal. For different types of faults, different signals will vary. The signal parameters will vary. So PMU should be well prepared to detect those changes. So as per IEEE, we have some signals. The first one is harmonic event. Harmonic event. Everyone is aware of this term. Every electrical guy. Basically, harmonics are the multiples of fundamental. We have second harmonics, third harmonic, fourth harmonics, means we have even harmonics and odd harmonics. But in power system, the even harmonics can be neglected. The reason I will tell you later. And the third harmonics and fifth harmonics, they are very dominant in nature. And what happens? Because of use of power electronic devices, harmonics comes to your power system. So your power system, we have lots of power electronic equipment like a rectifier, inverter, and many more things. So because of that, harmonics occur. So your PMU should be able to detect that change. If any huge harmonics is there, the PMU must be able to detect that and must identify its parameters. The second one is noise event. The second one is noise event. In noise event, what happens? Because of the use of capacitor banks, I believe that you people are aware of capacitor banks. Why they are used? They are used to So in case of ramp event, if your frequency is deviating because of some reason, if your frequency is if your frequency has some variations, for some time instant, for some time cycles. Assume this is your 0.02 to 0.04, and your frequency is very high here. So we consider that as a ramp event. Means your frequency changes like this. It follows the ramp equation form. So that is why it is called as ramp equation, and this frequency changes are modeled as ramp event. The next one is noise modulation ramp step change event. Step change event. Next one is a step change event. So we were talking about, so we talked about ramp event. That huge frequency variation can be modeled as ramp event. And what else? Just a minute. Yeah, I had some problem. Actually, it's some problem with light. I'm still managing this problem. Yeah. So, if we talk about the step event, what happens? Assume this is your normal operating voltage 150 volts. If any fault occurs in any part of your transmission line, so definitely the voltage will rise or it can drop also. So this kind of changes can be modeled as step change event. Some amount of voltage or some amount of phase will change. Some percentage of voltage, some percentage of phase will change. Some percentage of voltage and some percent of magnitude of phase will change. So this was all about the model signals, and this is one of the advantages of non-model based algorithms. You don't have any specific model, and as per IEEE, there are some parameters. There are some parameters for each and every model, for each and every signal model. Like in modulation event, definitely the modulation event will have some modulation frequency. It will have some modulation sensitivity. So this was just an example for different signals, different parameters will be there, and those parameters are specified by IEEE, and you can find that in IEEE standard for synchrophasor measurement. So in next class we will see the models of different signals and their values for different parameters as per IEEE standard. Thank you so much.